You've just tuned in for the latest transmission of Rice Against the Grain, and you're not here by accident. I'm your host, Rice. Today, I am joined by holistic health coach Teri Lynn from Human Consciousness Support to introduce and talk about MasterPeace, a product that is designed to help remove nanotoxins, forever chemicals, and heavy metals. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me on today's show is somebody who I'm looking forward to talking to because this is a conversation that is long overdue. I brought Teri Lynn on. Teri Lynn is involved with a company called Human Consciousness Support. She is the resident health coach. She has 30 years in communication access. She'll explain a little bit more about that. She's certified in eating psychology and holistic health coaching. I had originally met the CEO and founder, Matthew Hazen. I was introduced to him by Paul, and I had taken the product a while back. And at the time of taking the product, I was like working out. I was eating very healthy. I was taking care of myself very well. And also during the 2020 pandemic episode, I never took any medical advice from anybody. So I'm clean in that aspect. So when I first took the product, I didn't personally experience any kind of changes in my body and some of the things that when I had talked to Matthew and Paul privately about the product, because I'm an open-minded skeptic and I just don't promote something for the sake of promoting it. And that's why I say the conversation is long overdue. So Matthew has been staying on top of me. I asked him to go ahead and send me another supply of MasterPeace, which we'll get into what MasterPeace is here in just a moment. But I just want to kind of do this little intro explanation. And ultimately, and I will say the difference in me taking it this time, which I started January 1st, very intentionally, and experienced a lot of changes in my body. One thing too that was said to me that kind of perked my interest in the initial conversations with Matthew and Paul was, if you don't dream, it should help your dreaming to return or make your dreams more memorable, remembering your dreams and things to that effect. Because that's one thing that something happened in my brain, and I'm sure that I dream, but I don't recall any of it. And taking this product, I not only am feeling healthier, which we can get into, but I am dreaming again. Now I'm not remembering all the specifics, but it's very wild. And when I've explained this to other people who know me, they're very curious, about what I'm talking about. So I'm going to have links down below for everything we talk about. The main focus is going to be about this product called MasterPeace. But before we get into that, Teri, do you mind taking a moment just to kind of introduce yourself to people in the audience and explain what you do as the resident health coach there at Human Consciousness Support?
Yeah, that's what I've been coined over there. I'm a holistic health consultant and I do have a private practice. My website is livetruehealth.com. There's no E in true, so it's just livetruehealth.com. But I was brought on to Human Consciousness Support right before we became public. I had nothing to do with the actual formula. But so I wear a lot of hats over there, especially, when you're building a company from the beginning, you just do whatever you got to do and whatever you can do. So, but I handle a lot of the customer service with any health questions, things like that. I'm even called a resident health coach. And so I do uh, host the weekly calls that we have. I do them 3 times a month as the health coach. We have it's called the New Health Paradigm calls, but customers come in and they can ask questions and we follow people's stories and I teach a little bit and do that kind of thing. So I do have about 25-30 years in communication access. So that's my kind of my prior career. Yeah. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay. And how did you ultimately get involved with Human Consciousness Support?
I met Matthew a couple years ago now, almost exactly. I was working with a very small media company, and it was a friend of a friend situation. And he said, "Hey, I got this new product. I want you to hear me out. This was my colleague and my friend. And she said, hey, Teri, I want you to come on the call. It's health related. And that's the first introduction that I got to it. And Matthew continued to call me every day after that. And he said, hey, I want you to help me because of my background. He saw my website, he saw what I did, and he felt like I could be of some kind of value and assistance. And it's worked out very well since then. So that's kind of how that started.
He's a really persistent guy. I respect that.
Yeah, he's very persistent. Yeah. No, we hit it off for sure. So worked out well.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right there.
So yeah, this is the website. And again, if you guys are interested in purchasing the product yourself as a viewer, you can support the channel and it would be greatly appreciated. You can use the link that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It'll be linked in the video description and it'll be in the pinned comment as well. It's pretty simple though. Matthew did create me a bit.ly link. So it's bit.ly/RiceTVX. And that will get you hooked up with being able to get the products. Now, when I said, because I'm trying to be conscious of language, because I know we're not completely free and clear from the censorship.
Okay.
So 2020, we experienced the COVID-19. And during the COVID-19 experience, people had gotten vaccinated. And there's been a lot of question about what was in the vaccinations. And so for people that are trying to take care of themselves in regards to what they may see on screen with like removing nanotoxins and things to that effect, that is what this product is kind of aimed at from the perspective that I understood, to kind of detox your body from all the unhealthy things that have been put in it. How would you best okay, so let me read this and then you explain this in the most simplest terms, since you are a health coach. MasterPeace sets the standard as a keystone detoxification support in today's toxic world. The natural master binder, and I want to try this one. I know how to say zeolite, but let me try this. Clinoptilolite, zeolite.
Very good.
I know I didn't get it right.
You did get it right. You just did it slow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nano-sized and paired with sea plasma nutrition, sub-nano-sized is a breakthrough in holistic detoxification. So that's a lot of big words. Can you break that down for people who don't, like even myself, who don't completely fully understand what that means?
Absolutely. So you were correct when you first said that it was aimed at nanotoxins. Original idea was, hey, you know, we're living in a world where a toxicity is different than it was years ago. The technological age a long time ago brought us into this period of time where there was a lot of industrial waste. But then over time, what's happened, and probably we believe most of it is on purpose, craftily done, is that what they've done is they've nano-sized a lot of these toxins and nano-size other insidious poisons. And so the size is very, very, very small. And people think that the word nano means like it's always a bad thing. That's just the size of it. So it's 1/1000th of a meter. Yeah. So that's why the formula was originally created, to be able to fight fire with fire, because we had these nano-sized toxins. And that's why at the beginning up there, it said modern problems require modern solutions, I believe, going from memory. And right.
Where?
Yeah. Oh, that's another page.
Yeah. Okay.
That's another page. So but there we go, right there. So yeah, so the problems that we have right now are different, you know, that we had used before. People used to be able to do cleanses and these detoxes and, you know, juicing and fasting and all that. And it just wasn't really working anymore. And so Matthew thought, well, why don't we really do a really good nano-sized zeolite? And when you mentioned that it's called Clinoptilolite, when you mentioned the Clinoptilolite zeolite, has been used for a very long time. It's an inert mineral. It's 100% natural. It's a mineral that comes out of the volcanoes when they erupt, hits the sea, and there are these ancient beds of them. And so you can mine for zeolite. Zeolite is a very strongly negatively charged mineral. And the reason why that's super, super cool is because what that will attract, positively charged molecules. And it just so happens that poisons almost always, if not always, are positively charged. And so what zeolite does in nature is it cleans up the areas. So whenever you see a zeolite bed or you know of a zeolite bed, those are the cleanest areas probably in the entire world. And so what people have done is they've capitalized on that idea of zeolite, and the powders have been out for a really long time. We have a powder as well. And that, because it's inert, it's undigestible. It will just, you'll swallow it and it'll go right through you. But along the way, it'll just pick up a lot of things. And so pick up the things that you don't want in your body. And so the nano-sized zeolites, they've been out for a little while, but Matthew reverse engineered them and he wanted to make it way better. And we have a product that is now a colloidal system. We call it a nano-colloidal system. Can't even be compared to what else is out there. It's a whole system. That's a whole process. That's not just nano-sizing zeolite and putting some water in it. That's what other nano companies kind of basically do. We're doing it way exponentially better than that. And we come out with a product that we call MasterPeace. I'll let you ask anything to move forward with that.
Okay, so I mean, would you say, because I've heard about people doing like juicing and things like that to detox. What do you think has transpired that, or do you think that maybe the juicing was never really effective? If it was effective, what has transpired in what we're ingesting that the juicing and stuff like that isn't doing what it used to?
The body is a self-healing organism. And so what we need to do is get out of the way. And so when people are juicing, and it's still a great idea. So when you're juicing and you're just watching your diet and you're grounding your feet, you're getting your sunshine, all of these things that we were designed to have, what you're doing is you're giving yourself the best possible circumstance for your body to adjust, to reach homeostasis, to reach balance so that it can heal itself. And so all of those things that people were doing for a really long time and it was making a difference was because we didn't have so much coming at us. Now we got a lot of stuff coming at us, and the nano-sized toxins, we know it's coming for being spread like bugs. So it's coming from the air, it's coming in our water and our food. And it's proven that even our soil in the last 3 or 4 years, proven that even organic farms, Amish farms, are shown to have an exponential increase in the amount of especially aluminum, but a lot of these heavy metals and toxins that aren't supposed to be there. So it's coming at us everywhere. That wasn't the case 10 years ago, not like this. And so there's something that needed to happen in order to match that. And so the idea is you want to get out the bad stuff and put in the good stuff. That is what creates health. It's very simple. Get out what's not supposed to be there, put in what's supposed to be there on every level, by the way. So I'm a holistic detoxification coach. And so it's mind, body, spirit, all of those things, all those levels are all interconnected. But if we're just talking about the physical, biological aspect of it, get out the poisons. You have to be able to create space for what is supposed to be there so that your body can actually heal. So that's what MasterPeace does. It targets the poisons that are stuck in your body. And we have proof of this. We have proof of this because we've done a couple studies, and we're also currently doing a very large hair test trial. We also have some of our hair tests that have already come in, and it shows that MasterPeace, from baseline to 120 days, MasterPeace gets out the stuff like no other product has shown to do. We have an expert in the UK who is our expert that looks at our reports for the hair analysis, and he's never seen anything like it, according to him. So he uses saunas and all that with his clients, a lot of different products, and he's never seen this type of removal from heavy metals, also microplastics. Not that that's done in hair tests. You can, but the labs usually don't do it. But we have tested for that, tested microplastics, forever chemicals, heavy metals. We've tested for glyphosate. We've tested for fluoride, I believe, and 27 actually things, lindane, phosgene, all these things that are not supposed to be in your body. And when they are in your body can't function correctly. It's impossible. And so you're dreaming. You mentioned that. We don't know the exact mechanism of action there, but I think it has something to do with the central nervous system. The pineal gland is highly sensitive to the central nervous system. And it's possible that it is doing something with the pineal gland, detoxing it somewhat. uh, of
Yeah,
possibly fluoride. We don't know. Go
I
ahead.
will say it's really bizarre, the dream thing, because like I said,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like they just went away, and or I just stopped recalling them, and now it's just like I'm waking up, and I'm not saying it's every single day that I'm remembering these dreams, but very vivid dreams. I had a dream that I was in a boat, and it had to do with like water coming over the side of the boat, and the way I was sleeping had to do with how I was interacting in the dream. So, and that's something I haven't experienced in quite some time. So I found that to be fascinating. I want to talk about the test here in a second, but before we do, right here on the website, it has information about forever chemicals and heavy metals. Are these the type of things that MasterPeace is targeting, detoxing out of people's bodies ultimately within, you're saying, roughly 120 days of taking this as twice a day for 120 days, you should experience detoxification of the things that we're seeing on screen?
Yes, let me clarify. So we did our trials so far. We had 2 trials and they ended at 120 days, 120 days. But we did see was a very marked decrease within the first 35 days. What we saw after that was the trend was still trending down, but things were kind of up and down a little bit. That's because we're getting transfected by these things every day. So we'll
It's like a flush out, like a big flush out, and then smaller flushes after that.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah,
Well,
that's what
I say that because I felt like, without getting graphic about things, when in the first 2 weeks, I'm not sure what people are experiencing with. I'm assuming the stuff that's in our bodies is coming out in some manner. And
yeah. So
I've noticed that, like, without, people grossed out, that when I used the bathroom and did a number two, uh, very black and liquidy, like as if I was like
mm,
something was coming out of me. And after about a week and a half or so, and it had nothing to do with what I was eating, like nothing to do with my diet. I felt like it was like my body starting to purge itself of things because of what I was doing. I don't know if that makes any sense.
no, absolutely. It's an elimination pathway. So your elimination pathways are your skin, your lungs, your colon, your bladder. So you have elimination, defecation, urination, perspiration, respiration for women,
I had
menstruation.
stronger odor in some of my urine,
Yeah.
which I
We
think might be an indication too of.
yeah,
I'm
so we
just like
test
I'm trying to, like, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm like in my head as these things are going on. I'm like trying to, like, is this from this? Like, am I having this strong smell from my urine from this because I never noticed that strong smell before, or am I getting better smelling? Like, is my senses improving as well? Like, am I getting stronger?
it's interesting.
So yeah, I'm like here trying to break down everything, and that's why I thought it'd be good to talk with you guys.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to get Matthew on and different various members of the team, but you're the perfect person to do this introductory conversation.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll just mention with the things that you were noticing, we get that from time to time for sure. So I don't want you to think you're weird or an odd case or anything. That's what you want to happen when we're doing our testing. We're testing urine. We're actually seeing the levels in urine increase. That's what you want. You want it to increase. You want it to leave your body, and it's going to have to leave somehow. And so that those changes that you're noticing, and defecation is the best way. That's what you want to happen. That system is
Right, it could
built
go
for
out through your the pores of your skin and things to that effect. Because, like, I've
yeah,
taken things like niacin, which
yeah.
if you take too much niacin, it it's a detox. Like, one of the adverse effects is supposed to be detoxification.
There's so many things you can do. There's so many things that you can combine and do, and what I like about MasterPeace is it's so easy. I don't know, I guess you don't have a bottle there, but it's just like a little tincture bottle like this. You have it?
I
Okay.
do. Yeah, no, I do. I have, and actually, Matthew knows I'm running low, so I'm waiting for my next order. This is my second bottle, and this is
Yeah.
what's left. Today's the 27th. Tomorrow's the last day of the month, so I'm literally taking it twice a day when I
Uh-huh.
wake up, and sometimes either right before bed or about an hour before bed.
Uh-huh.
I'm following the instructions of not eating or drinking anything for 30 minutes prior to and after.
Yep. Yep.
Is that the correct way to do it as well?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's just common sense. That's not anything that
I
is
wasn't sure if it
hard.
was just wait a half hour after you take it, or you should wait a half hour before you take it as well.
We say both is a little bit better, just so we want to make sure that the body, can do what it needs to do with it. We just don't want any other processes getting, in the way. Not that necessarily that would make a big difference. It just makes good common sense.
Right.
So with the other things that you mentioned and we were mentioning, those things are processes that a lot of people are not going to do. They don't want to do. They can't do. They're too busy, whatever. It's literally a few seconds a day with MasterPeace, and we have the proven science that shows that it is going to eliminate these. You mentioned microplastics. We have the proof of that. Heavy metals, we have the proof of that. We have the proof of 27 things, actually. So it is going to cleanse out your cells, your interstitial fluid of these poisons.
And using this testing method with the hair test and stuff, are you saying like basically someone can get them like their body kind of in a sense analyzed and test it before they take the product, so that as they're taking the product, they could take another test and see what the difference is?
Yeah, so what we have right now is we do have a hair test page, and we have two options. One is just to buy a single hair test. If you've already started MasterPeace, you can just see where your levels are at. If you haven't, you can get a baseline, and we are doing an opt-in. You can opt into a study, and right now we have increased that to 8 months. But the first 4 months, you will opt into, and you'll get a baseline test. This is for people that have never taken MasterPeace before. This is the only crowd that we're allowing this, because we
The
want to see what
opt-in study.
MasterPeace does. Yeah. And then
Okay.
at 4 months, you'll get another test. That's what you're buying when you're buying this package. So baseline in 4 months, and then you're going to get 3 bottles of MasterPeace, and you're going to take it daily as much as you can, up to 5 drops twice a day. And you're going to get your health markers. You're going to know your heavy metal levels. You're going to know your healthy mineral levels and ratios. And you're going to know your toxic minerals, because those exist, how much you have of that. And you get a very detailed report from the lab, as well as our guy in the UK who does hair mineral analysis for like 15 years now. He'll also give you his analysis, and you're going to get a comprehensive report and suggestions on what you can do. And then you can do that. And then if you want to do another test in 8 months to see what your changes, are with your lifestyle changes, and you can do that too. So it's a good deal as far as like how much tests would normally cost. And this way you're knowing where you're at starting, and it'll be proof to you the product is working. However,
Right.
you have to wait for your results, though. People don't like that. I understand, but you're in a human study, and so you just have to wait at the 4 month mark to get your results.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Mhm.
So, and again, all this information is going to be linked down below. As far as like, and I had a few slides that Matthew had sent me, and I don't think that you probably know what the slides are. I had them listed in ways that you probably won't like understand, but I want to pull up the first one, and maybe you can tell me what this is that we're looking at.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I made that
And then
chart.
I have one. Okay. And then I have one that's dealing with urine, one that's dealing with hair, and then it looks like one dealing with hair and urine.
Okay, good. I didn't realize you had these charts. So yeah, we can go over these. So that was our pilot study. We just had 3 subjects, and you can see this is what I was kind of explaining earlier. The very first graphs with the colors, that's baseline. So that was the levels that people had of graphene oxide, PFOS, PFOAs, PEs, and PPs. A couple of those are forever chemicals. A couple of those are plastics. And so you can just visually see how much they had in there. And then that 35 days, you can see how that drastically went down. And some were 80%. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And then at 90 days, we can see it's kind of trending down still, but there's some up and downs there. So it really shows that we are being transfected daily. And we would love to see long-term results. This was a particular test that we no longer can have access to. Okay, so this one is the second round of testing. We had ended up with 22 participants. And this is a urine analysis. So when I was mentioning how you want things to come out your urine, we measured that. We measured the hair and measured the urine. So this is an average range of change. It would take me a little bit to explain how we did this. If anyone's going to watch the Crow Show in a couple of weeks, I'm actually going to go into very, very good detail on this on Monday, a few days. But we wanted to know, okay, so the red is the placebo group. We did have a placebo group on this one. We didn't have a placebo group in the first one. And the blue is the participant group. Now that red, that is a range. Your body can detox. It's created to detox. It's going to do some kind of cleansing and detoxing without you even trying. So that red represents the amount, the range of how much people are naturally going to excrete aluminum, antimony, arsenic, barium, those things. The blue represents the range of change of people that were on MasterPeace. So you can see it was able to detox the person at 254% more than the placebo group. Yeah. So you can see some of the numbers are pretty low. Antimony, MasterPeace doesn't do so good.
Cadmium.
Yeah. There's a few of them and there's a reason for that. And if you want me to tell you the reason, I could tell you the reason. At least one of the reasons that we know is that zeolite has already been studied. A zeolite's a very highly studied mineral. And what we do know about it is it has an affinity for certain heavy metals. And it has to do with probably the charge of it. And so it's going to prefer things like aluminum, lead, mercury. It's now on the lower end is going to be tin, nickel. Nickel's on the end. And our results proved out that preferentially it was going after the ones that are higher and did not prefer the other ones. Now, to alleviate that, it could be that a person just needs to take MasterPeace a lot longer so that you can take down the aluminum and the arsenic and the things that are very easy for it to get out. And then later it'll get to the other things. That's possible. Yeah. It's a hypothesis at this point. But
no, that's very fascinating. The next one I have here is this hair analysis.
Yeah. So those are the six of them that are measured in the hair analysis. We see a lot more in urine and see the same thing, basic same thing. Definitely some differences because, so two totally different ways of measuring urine and hair, two totally different ways. Urine is going to be more of a snapshot into that day. Hair is going to be a 3 to 4 month snapshot. So it's going to be a lot longer period of time.
I when it comes to like testing for like things like cannabis, I know like if jobs use a hair analysis versus a urine analysis, that it can go back further in time because hair stores so much, which for the longest time, that's the reason why I kept my hair short, so they couldn't take my hair because I smoke a lot of cannabis.
Okay. Yes. So there you go. So yeah, it's almost like your hair is just putting out and growing what it has access to in the interstitial fluid. Interstitial fluid is 80% of your fluids, a lot more than the blood. So you really want to be able to measure that. And so the hair follicle bathes itself in interstitial fluid. And so if you can get a reading at 3 or 4 months of that, and it's an average, it's an average, but urine is, okay, let's take a snapshot into what you're doing, what your body's doing right now. We did have and if anyone knows what this means, it was a provoked urine test. So we were able to, nudge the body to release what it could. And then we did the urine testing. But what we see and the basic takeaway from that is basically we see the hair results and the urine results lining up, basically showing that MasterPeace is able to chelate, it's called, grab the poisons, heavy metals in this case, much better than the body can do on its own. All right, so this one, we were only able to compare 5 because those are the only similar ones in the hair and the urine. And so we averaged them together. We had to do an average because you're using totally different units of measurement there. Cadmium was, it turned out to be, well, actually, I'm not sure that 242 is actually accurate.
Yeah,
could be that,
because it looks like there's like a 0.006 change from what I can see with the numbers from the placebo to active.
Yeah, that might be an older chart. I think there was a couple mistakes that we had to correct. But yeah, so let me just take a look. I haven't seen this chart in weeks. But yeah, so what we did is we combined the percentages. You can't combine the numbers because they're totally different. And then what we got was just an average. So
Okay.
yeah, about 200% aluminum more.
And I I want to also like say to people that are interested in taking care of themselves and their family. If you're in a position like where I was saying when I first started taking the product, and I was eating ultra clean and really taking care of myself, drinking lots of water, just really doing what I could. If you're doing those kind of things, you may not see as much of a detoxification process. It's still going to happen, but you may not notice it as much as I think is what was happening with me. So the second go around, I've been sick, had holidays. So we had Thanksgiving and Christmas. I wasn't eating as healthy as I would. And I can say that in November, December time period, I might have ate out fast food a couple times, which I hardly ever do, but I did. So I added, in a sense, a lot of toxins in my body. So when I started taking the MasterPeace, the beginning of January, and within, like I said, that week and a half, I noticed a huge difference because I wasn't taking care of myself as much as I was. So that was also an indication to me, who's about to turn 50 in 2 months, like you need to start taking care of yourself and staying on top of it.
That's valid.
So
Those are valid reasons. However, there's one thing that I don't think you realize is that you had the 1.0 version the first time and you had 2.0 version the second time.
see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that there was a variation in the product.
Yeah. So we've upgraded the product. Dr. Robert Young has tweaked the product for the last time. And this was just not even a year ago. And where it's been for sale has been well less than a year ago. So you have a product that's probably pretty cloudy, right? You can shake it and you can see that it's really cloudy. And sometimes it'll settle, and it just so everyone knows, you just shake it. So that is a different liquid that we're using. That's the first start of it. We're using a sea plasma, and before we used a marine plasma. It's a different liquid. And
okay. See, I remember when Matthew was telling me about this, about the plasma, and I didn't know, like, I didn't differentiate between sea and marine. So, because that was one of the last questions I was going to ask you is, looking at the product, it looks like it's very simple as far as what's in it. Because what's inside the bottle? It says two things, and they're structured and energetically infused. Those two things. So you're saying that version 1 was marine plasma and version 2 is sea plasma.
Yeah. So the marine plasma. So let me just start by saying the nano zeolite formula. That's a patented process. It is what started this whole the whole formula, and so that is very, very special the way that's done. It's perfect particle range size and everything. There's a lot of science to it. And then it has to be put in a liquid. And a lot of companies will just either do water or just like an electrolyte solution or just something like that. We wanted something really special. And so marine plasma was fantastic. We got a lot of good results with the marine plasma, and it was structured and energetically infused. By the way, this website's going to be upgraded, I think, in a week. And so this is going to look a little bit different.
Okay.
But so then we were forced to switch. That's a whole nother story, but we were forced to switch because of the FDA, just because they stole our product. So everyone knows that. It wasn't anything to do because nothing was wrong with our product. But so then we got our hands on something that actually was even better. And so we're calling it a sea plasma. It's an inland sea mineral solution. And it's not just that makes it different. It's also been tweaked by Robert Young and Matthew, and the structuring, there's more structuring and all that. Just the process is different and perfectly done to now where the pH is higher, in case that means anything to anybody. And the millivolts are a lot higher. It's a lot stronger. So what you have right now is a product that was a little different than what you had at the first time, more than likely, from what I understand. And so now the product delivers more of an energetic charge. It's going to work in harmony with your body much better than it used to. So that might be also why you're seeing more of a benefit. It's actually stronger to it. It might be too strong for some people.
With you saying that, it makes complete sense. That actually makes every bit of sense. Because, again, me trying to figure out what was the difference. The only difference that I could could recall was I was taking care of myself better. I wasn't eating shitty food. I was eating as natural as I could. I was, working out 4 days a week average, if not five. So I was, there's a lot of things that I was doing to like really improve my health. I mean, like over the past year, I've dropped about 25 pounds.
All right.
So, those kind of things have helped. But again, over the past few months before taking this, I just wasn't in that same position. I wasn't working out 4 or 5 days a week. I've made it. If I was lucky, I was doing like 2. There was a couple weeks I had taken off from being sick. Then the holidays, we had Thanksgiving, we had Christmas. I got sick after Christmas. So yeah, and then I told you today, I woke up yesterday with this drainage in my throat.
But if I can just speak real quick on that of not noticing anything, what we're seeing by our tests, our own trials that are third party tested, is that it does happen in every case. And some people don't feel a difference. And so there's this idea that you're supposed to feel a difference, even though we want to feel a difference, like the dreaming. The dreaming is pretty standard with most people. But some people, it's not very many, a small percentage that will come back and say, I feel nothing. Just take it for granted. Be assured that your body is detoxing. We've seen that across the board with everybody. It's just for some reason you're not necessarily noticing, or you're not, like you said, you're in a healthier state. That probably is a thing. I don't notice a whole lot either.
I would imagine that the healthier you are, the less there is to detox, and the less you're going to notice it and feel it. And what you said makes so much sense, because when I take something, I'm expecting to feel results. And if I don't feel or see results, it doesn't feel like I'm getting the benefit of it. But like you said, just you may just maybe had I just continued taking the product instead of being a skeptic. And that's why I said the conversation was long overdue. And that's why, it takes me a long time before I'm going to present something to my audience. I don't want to put people in a position where they feel like I'm taking advantage of them.
Oh, totally understood. I think there's wisdom in what you just said. And some people just don't feel it. It's not necessarily even that they're more healthy. I don't know what it is exactly. Some people feel bad, and they think they should feel bad. They think they should have detox symptoms. That's actually not something you want to go for. Then don't aim for that. So then they're like, well, I feel nothing. Well, good. Good. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. You don't want to have a headache. You don't want to feel bad. Now, sometimes you get those eliminations, like you mentioned at the beginning. We get that from time to time too. So that's a good thing. Just, you don't want it to be overwhelming. Then you're doing too much. You need to back off a little.
Well, I definitely feel like I said, I felt like taking it the second time around, if it's a different version, it's made a lot more of a difference. So I do want to let people know, again, like if you're interested in purchasing any of the products, be sure to use my referral link. I do get a commission off this. It is a way to support the channel. And then there is a referral program through it as well, so you can affiliate. So if you like the product and you want to ultimately do what I'm doing, turn this on to some of your friends so that they can start cleaning their bodies, your families, all these people in your lives that you'd like to see live longer and healthier. This is a product that you can recommend and also be able to, like I said, it would be supporting the channel, and it's a way for you to bring in passive income as well. So I just want people to understand fully what this is before anything else. I mean, but again, it took me taking this product twice for me to feel comfortable enough to even have this conversation. So Teri Lynn, I really appreciate you.
Oh, just one more thing. So just so everyone knows, there is a private side and a public side to our company. And so if they use your link, they will get a slight discount. So that's the private side. And so if they want their own referral link, they'll get one anyway if they hit the sign up button and just become a private member. So they can go to the website, but they're going to pay more. So if they go through your link, then they'll get a slight discount.
Okay. That's something I didn't know either.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's why I wanted to have this conversation. And like I said, I want to have other conversations. I mean, I definitely would like to have you back on. I'd like to have more conversations with other team members and, and to share my experiences of what I'm getting from this, because with everything that we experienced in 2020, I think it was very eye-opening for a lot of people where we are today. And again, if you want to take care of your health, one thing I have noticed is when a lot of people start to accumulate any sort of wealth, a good majority of those individuals start to take care of their health. Because it really doesn't matter how much money you have if you're not taking care of yourself, because you may not have that long of a life. And I
It's
just want
so
people to take
true.
those things in consideration.
If you don't have your health, you just don't have anything. That is what you want to have. You don't want to live your life without being able to function optimally. That should be where your resources go, in my opinion. Body, mind, spirit. So it's not just on a physical level. You need to invest in yourself on all those levels.
All right. Well, again, I'm going to have links down below for my affiliate link and for the website information, so you guys can check this out if you're interested in the product. It's a way to support the channel, and it's a way that you can earn passive income. So be sure to explore all the information that's going to be down below in the video description and the pinned comment. You can go to the shop if you're interested in getting the other product, because we've been mainly focusing on MasterPeace. I definitely want to talk more in a future conversation about Master Restore. Is there something that you can quickly share about what Master Restore is?
I sure can. So powders have been sold for a really long time, and what we did is we found the best powder ever. It's a private mine, and it's very small. It's micronized. It's a very fine powder, and that is the one we have right now. It's got fulvic acid with it too, but we are changing the formula very soon. It's going to have bicarb, so it's going to be more of an alkalizing formula. So it's a way. It's going to target your gut a little bit more, well, a lot more. It's going to target your gut, and 20% is going to stay in your gut. 80% is going to go past the gut wall lining, which is good too. So it's working on more of a macro level, as opposed to the MasterPeace is working, more in on the nano level.
Okay. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Again, I really appreciate you taking time to do
Yeah.
this conversation. If you can bear with me 1 second, I'm just going to finish up, do the wrap up and stop recording. So again, going to have links down below for everything we talked about on today's show. I do appreciate you tuning in. If you're not already subscribed, I ask, what are you waiting for? Make sure you're subscribed. If you are subscribed, make sure you are still subscribed, because YouTube is playing games. So I make sure that you are still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And as always, I encourage you to be a blessing to others. Treat people how you want to be treated. Be the glitch you want to see in this matrix, and be the change you want to see in this world. Until next time.